We are looking through the lens of a recovered camcorder. The footage is heavily corrupted, shaking violently in the hands of a missing college student named Mia Torres. From the pitch-black corners of the room, you can hear a second person, breathing heavily. Through the static, a voice cuts through the dark, whispering a single question. Do you know why people fear the dark? Immediately after, Mia screams. Mia was never found. This footage is the final recorded evidence of a predator who successfully turned America's most famous highway into a private hunting ground. The nightmare began on an isolated stretch of Route 66. It was 2:13 a.m., and Deputy Aaron Cole was running a routine patrol through a section of the desert that usually stayed silent. His headlights eventually swept across a yellow station wagon parked off the shoulder near Black Hollow Road. The driver's door was wide open, and the engine was still idling. Despite the running car, the surrounding dirt showed no footprints, no drag marks, and no signs of a struggle. The only physical evidence was found inside the vehicle. Smeared across the interior of the windshield was a single, fresh handprint in blood. Beside the road, near a woman's shoe, investigators found a Polaroid. The photo showed the driver, terrified and tied to a chair. Across the bottom, written in thick black marker, were the words, "You were too late." The contrast between the clean crime scene and the deliberate, taunting photograph was immediately unsettling. Between the running engine and the staged photo, it was clear that the person responsible hadn't just taken a victim, they had stayed behind to leave a message. Over the next 3 months, 5 more travelers vanished without a trace along this same desert corridor. Every disappearance followed the same forensic blueprint: an abandoned car, a single personal item left in the dirt, and a Polaroid photograph containing that same repetitive message. Truck drivers on the long-haul routes began reporting sightings of a tall figure on the shoulder. He wasn't signaling for a ride or asking for help. He was simply standing in the dark, watching the passing traffic with a fixed smile. One driver claimed the man approached his rig and whispered that most people who go missing in the desert are never seen again. The investigation ballooned into a massive federal response. FBI behavioral analysts were brought in to build a profile, while local police set up roadblocks and distributed composite sketches based on the sightings. Despite the presence of federal profilers and intensified patrols, the smiling man remained a ghost. He was operating in plain sight along a major American artery, yet the authorities couldn't find a single lead that stuck. The search eventually moved away from the highway and into the desert's abandoned mining tunnels. While the highway abductions were fast and clinical, the crime scenes found underground were meticulous and ritualistic. The victims were found posed with their eyes forced open and their hands neatly folded. On the rock walls nearby, the phrase "smile for me" was written in blood. This wasn't a case of a killer hiding his work. He was curating a subterranean gallery, turning these deep, dark tunnels into a space where he could maintain absolute control over his victims. The case eventually led back to Mia Torres. When she and her boyfriend disappeared, the only thing investigators found was her camcorder. Frame-by-frame analysis of the final 30 seconds showed Mia crying in a dark room. In the shadows behind her, you can see a tall figure breathing heavily, watching her through the lens. As Mia screams, the camera falls. In that final second, the recording captures a pale face with sunken black eyes and a smile literally carved from ear to ear. This wasn't just a lead, it was a psychological blow. The authorities finally had a face for the smiling man, but the footage only confirmed how little they actually knew about him. In 2004, the FBI officially declared the case inactive. To this day, the man in the video has never been identified. He joins the ranks of other phantom figures in American true crime, predators who manage to taunt the police and vanish into the general population without ever leaving a fingerprint. But the stories didn't stop with the official investigation. Truckers still share accounts of a tall stranger standing by the roadside at night, waiting for a driver to pull over. Even now, the statistics show a grim continuity. Every few years, another traveler vanishes without a trace along that exact stretch of desert road. If you're ever driving alone at night and see a smiling stranger asking for help, keep driving, because some killers were never caught and some are still out there.